You want a donut? Hey guys, welcome back to Kicks I Missed, the place where I document all the shoes that I wish that I had had as a kid. My name is Andy. Thanks for being here. Let's get started. In the previous episode, I stated that I was going to be covering the history of basketball sneakers, but in fact, I wanted to go ahead and include a wide spectrum of athletic shoes. The Adidas Samba. I remember the Samba primarily back in the 1990s, and kids were, back then, man, you remember the hacky sacks? Kids were always playing hacky sack, and it was always the soccer kids, of course, playing or wearing the Sambas. But yeah, it was always an iconic look that I loved. But they didn't sell these at Walmart. So I'll be wearing these for the next week. Let's see how it goes.
Here's how they look on feet. I think they have a nice clean look. Mine the trap jaw from He-Man. That's my little boys.
What do you think about the Adidas Samba? What do you think about these shoes? Good? Do you think they're... So, do you think they match the outfit or anything?
Yeah, but I want a donut.
You want a donut? I'm a musician. I stand on my feet a lot. So I'm playing. I heard a song by Sleep Token called Emergence. And so I'm just picking out the melody, transposed up a half step. But so I've been on my feet for the last 3 hours or so practicing, and I can say that the Adidas Samba is much less comfortable than the Chuck Taylor All-Star. I did not expect that. The profile of the shoe is very narrow at the front there, and so it's compressing the toes quite a bit. Also, the padding, there just isn't any really. So you can definitely, as a middle-aged guy, which unfortunately on the scale I went up a couple pounds for this week, so I've got to get that in check and do a lot better, get some exercise in this week and try to get that trend back down. But I can definitely feel it in the feet. It sucks. So it's going to be a long week. Something I've noticed is that the tongues of the shoes slide to the left and the right. They don't stay centered, and it's kind of annoying. So share in the comments below if when you wear these shoes, if you experience the same problems, and if you have you come up with a solution? Because that's just kind of annoying to always have to reach down and straighten the tongue. My wife wanted hubcaps on our old 2001 Honda Accord, so we get hubcaps. Yay, remember hubcaps, guys? God, stupid things. Personally, I would much rather just have the stupid things off. It makes it more difficult to change a tire, dealing with the stupid hubcaps. And I don't care how ghetto it looks without them. And I just put that retention ring on backwards. So that's good. God. Stupid retention ring. Yeah. So I do not care how ghetto it looks. I just pain in the butt. It said to use a rubber mallet. I didn't do that. Working on getting these deck boards placed. There we go. So if I had to make a trip to Harbor Freight and the Home Depot, a lot of walking, and shoes do not feel good at all. Thumbs down. Pushing the wood. Just gonna set that. Hey guys, I apologize for the lighting. It is what it is. The shoe was designed by Adidas founder in 1949. It is the second highest selling Adidas design ever. The Samba was designed to enable football players or soccer players to train on icy hard ground, hence the suction cup designs on the gum sole. According to Wikipedia, some sources have said the name was inspired by the samba being released close to the 1950 World Cup in Brazil and the country's association with samba music and carnival culture. However, Adidas has said this was not the case and that the shoe was given the nickname at German football matches. I don't know. The shoes became popular with skaters in the 1990s, and the Samba has been featured in various television shows and movies, with the most notable first appearance dating back to the 1980s film Beverly Hills Cop, where Eddie Murphy's character Axel Foley wore the sneakers throughout. If it's good enough for Axel Foley, it's good enough for anyone. If you want to know more about the shoe, please check out Nacho Average Finds' YouTube channel. He's done an extensive historical dive into the shoe and it's definitely worth a watch. I can tell you throughout this week, wearing the shoes, the things I've liked about it is the low to the ground feeling. It's just a nice, familiar feeling, you know. However, I'm an older dude, so wearing those things, being on my feet all day, they were bad. I would get a lot of heel pain. Also, the toes were being cramped on both sides, just crunched in there, so not comfortable. And I have another old pair of beaters I haven't shown. They're just an old set of Pumas. They're almost like Nike Air rip-offs. But I've been working in those shoes because, again, I don't want to ruin the Sambas. But slipping into those modern day Pumas with the air bubble, oh my God, it felt so much better. It was like relief. And these are just some old beaters that I have that feel exponentially better than the Sambas. So anytime I had an opportunity to get out of the Sambas, I actually, it felt wonderful. So stylistically, I like them. I walked into Harbor Freight with them. I noticed a guy, his eyes immediately went down to the shoes. Now granted, I'm going into a tool store with an old soccer shoe, so I don't know, but he was definitely checking them out, for better or for worse, who knows. That about sums it up. I know that it said it was a popular skateboard shoe in the 1990s, and I know that it's because of that grippy bottom. You know, it does have good traction, but there's no impact protection at all. You gotta be young. Someone like me, you feel every single step you're making in those suckers. It can be brutal.
As always, I end the week just cleaning up the shoes. I'm using a damp cloth on leather, and I try to be careful not to let it hit the suede, but if you guys have a good idea on how to handle suede or how to clean suede, let me know. Thanks for watching Kicks I Missed. Check back next week for episode 3.